it's Darby from rejoiceandcreate.com. Thanks for stopping by today. Well, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe so we can craft together in the future. Well, when I did a 6x6 series, I ended up creating this little box. Actually, it's an intertwining box, and you push this little button down and you can open it up, and there's room for some small candy bars or some trinkets. And because I was using a 6x6 paper, this was as big as I could go. However, I've had several requests for fitting a full-size Hershey's bar in there, so I created another box that was a bit bigger, and that's this one. Now this will fit a full-size Hershey's bar in there. Let me go ahead and show you. And there it is, the full size. And the full-size bar is, let's see, about 2 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 of an inch, if you want to fold the wrappers down, and that will fit in there. And I created this one with just that in mind. Now, it's not as thrifty with paper as a 6x6, but it is a very fun little treat to give. Now, if you want something smaller that will use a 6x6, I will link this one. But I created some fun ones that were for the bigger size candy bar. Now these, I used cardstock for one side of it, and then I used some pattern paper for the other side, and it made a really fun little treat box. And now for this one, I used pattern paper actually for both sides of it, and that works too. So today I'm going to make an Easter one, and it's going to fit a full-size Hershey bar. You need 2 pieces of paper that are 7 inches by 6 1/2 inches. Okay, now both of these are scored the same way, and we're going to score with the 7-inch side first, and we'll score it at 1/2 of an inch. Now we'll turn it to the 6 1/2, and we'll score it at 1 3/4 and at 4 3/4. We'll score both of them the same way. All right, we'll keep the scoreboard nearby because we're going to use it in just a minute, because this is the same as our French fry box inspired box. We'll go ahead and fold and burnish the score lines. All right, so now what we're going to do is, you can see we have the 2 side scores, and there's a 1/2 inch section on the bottom. That is going to be our glue tab that we're folding up. But what we want to do is we want to cut on that inside rectangle down here at a 45-degree angle to these intersecting score lines, and then we'll cut off this one here, and we'll cut off the entire score line. And the same with this side, cut about 45 degrees, and then cut off the entire score line. All right, so now we're going to go ahead, and these will fold over for a 1/2 inch. So go ahead on one side, put a 1/2 inch or less width of double-sided tape. And then go ahead and tape your glue tab as well. And we'll just press those down. Do the same with the other one. So basically what we made are 2 pockets, okay? And now we're going to do a little additional scoring. So I'm going to bring back my scoreboard. And what we're going to do is I'm going to flip it over so the seam is on top and the pocket opening is to the top. So I'll put it like that. And we're going to score it at 1/4 of an inch on both sides. So I'll go 1/4 of an inch on this side. I'm going to score it down to about 5 1/2 inches. Let me move that up a little. So I'm going to score it down to about 5 1/2 inches. And that's not exact. What you want to do is just score it to the same length on both sides. So here's a 1/4 of an inch here, and I'm going to score it down to that same distance on this side. All right, now I'm going to flip it over and actually reinforce it. And this is really important if you're using cardstock, because if you're doing one of the bases from cardstock, you really do need to reinforce the score lines on this other side. All right, and we're going to put that one aside for a second and do the same with this one. All right, so the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually attach right where we ended, and this is where our score line ended, and it should be even, about even on both sides. We're going to actually attach that right to the corner. So use a ruler and a stylus and just score it from that point to the corner on both of the sides. Okay, and we're going to flip it over and repeat the same on the opposite side. And as I said, it's especially important with it's especially important if it's cardstock, because you want that to be well scored, because it'll make the cardstock folding much easier. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. I don't know if you see, we got the 1/4 inch score down, and then we have it angling towards the corner on both sides. All right, so let's do the other side. Okay, so how we actually turn into our French box is we actually put our fingers in here, and we're going to fold on one of those side score lines by kind of pushing the box sideways about 2/3 of the way down. We don't want to work with this part that's curved quite yet, but go ahead and reinforce that. And now fold it the other way, so we're reinforcing the other side. Okay, so now we have both of those sides folded. What we're going to do is we're going to depress the middle one. We're pushing down on the middle, and we're actually sandwiching it into a little M. So if you can see that. And we'll do that as far as we can until we get some resistance from where it starts curving. So we've got that all the way to there, and we're starting to get some resistance. Just run your finger in there to kind of give you the nice curve. All right, so this is what we have on that side. All right, I'll repeat that on the other side. Okay, so we have one of our boxes done. All right, do the same thing with the other one. So now we have both of them done. You see that kind of a W or an M fold on both of the ends, and both of these are done. All right, so how they're going to fit together is like this. We're just going to feed one over the other, both the seams in the back, and that's what's going to make our little treat holder. All right, so what we're going to do next is actually punch a hole in the front one, the one that's going over the other one. All right, so what I'm using is 1.5 inches. You could use something whatever you want, and I'm going to feed the pink one over the top of the polka dotty one. So what I'm going to do is just feed this in here as far as it will go, and most of them will feed on the bottom. If you have a punch that doesn't feed quite all the way, if it won't feed in there, then before you glue the seam together, you want to punch the center of this front side. But I'm just going to go ahead and punch it here because that one fits in, and that's what I have. All right, now the key to our little pop closure is that we want to use a cardstock piece that's that same size. And I went ahead and punched one already because I have a really cute thing in mind for it. And I made one out of white, and that's what I'm going to use for my little pop closure. So how I want to do this, let me put my candy bar in just to show you that it does fit. And this is my inside one, is going to be the polka dotty one. Let me take this one and fold it over that one. Whoops. I'm going to snug it up until this end kind of starts meeting where it flares out. You know, that kind of French fry box looking flare out. So right where it flares out, that's where it's going to end. And where I want to put my pop closure is right there. So what I want to do is take this circle that I have, and I'm going to cover the back with several either foam dots, or what I'm using is some double-sided foam tape. And I want to have it pretty strong in there. So what I did is kind of fit it to contour. Like that, so it'll be a very strong little adhesion. All right, let me take those off. And we're going to put this, center it right over that circle that I punched out, because this is what's going to pop through. It's going to hold it in place. And see, when I pop it through, that's how it'll open. Or when I close it up, it kind of pops in place and holds it. Like that. Now, I thought this would be a really cute one to do for Easter, and I'm doing this as a little bunny box. Now, when you decorate this, when you put things around that hole like I have in some of my other ones, you do not want to occlude that hole. So you want to leave that hole open so that it's free for that cardstock piece to pop in and out. Let me go ahead and flatten this out a little bit so it's easier to decorate. And I thought it'd be really cute to decorate that as a little bunny face. So what I have is I punched out a couple of ovals for some ears, and I'm just going to go right ahead and put these right up over here where my bunny head would be. And remember, you don't want to go into that circle at all, so everything has to sit right up to the rim of that circle. And I also made a little bow tie for my bunny. I'm going to put that right below the circle. See if I can center that a little better. There we go. So right below the circle, I made a little bow tie for my bunny as well. So when I close it, it's going to look like that white dot is a bunny face. All right, so let me go ahead and slide this one over, and what you're doing is you're matching up where the V's or the M's go. So go ahead and match up on both sides. And then just slide this one over that one, push this little button down is what I call it, and then it pops back up as soon as it's there. Oh, isn't that cute? A little bunny face. And I also have a little Easter blessings to go right on the bottom of it. And what I've been doing is I have a bunch of these rhinestones left over, so I'm coloring them the way I want them. So now I'm going to color them with a permanent pink marker. You could do it with an alcohol marker as well. And let me go ahead and cover a couple of smaller ones and one bigger one so I can put them around my sentiment. So I hope you enjoyed this full-size Hershey bar version of the Interlocking French fry inspired box. It would make a fun addition to the Easter basket or a nice little tree. And of course, if a full-size Hershey bar fits in there, a gift card will too. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and give it a try. If you liked the video, please subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to be notified of new videos as I upload them. For more information on this project and others I've done, please visit rejoiceandcreate.com. And as always, until we meet again, I hope all your days are blessed. Bye!